Always watch your man in an argument, because that's where you'll see it the most. That's where you see him expose himself for who he truly is. So that's really where you want to listen, ladies, and say, what is he really saying to me? What does he truly, really feel about me?
No man is perfect, but a man that is still respectful when arguing is pretty darn close. And let's just be real here for a second. Arguments are gonna happen. It just will. Life be lifing. People get stressed, tired, or overwhelmed, right? But how he talks to you when he's mad, yeah, that shows you his heart right there. Because anybody can be sweet when everything is chill. It takes a different kind of man to stay calm, to not call you out of your name, to not embarrass you, to not hit you with low blows just because he's upset. A good man will take a breath and he'll say, I'm upset, but I still love you. He'll talk to you, not at you. He won't make you feel small just so that he can feel big. He won't try to win the argument. He'll try to fix the problem. And let me tell you something, a man who protects your feelings, even when he's not feeling his best, that man is rare. That man is grown. That man is safe. So if you have that, don't play with it. If you don't settle until you find it.
Hi ladies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to this channel, my name is Miss Kafue. Ladies, I believe you've been in an argument or arguments before with a man and you are like, oh my god, this man does not like me, or oh my god, this man really loves me. Like, despite being angry, he still protects my dignity, he still protects my peace. Like, he tries to calm the situation down. His masculinity comes out in that case. It's attractive to see a man hold it down when he's so angry. Like, that's the moment you know the real him. Let me tell you the truth. As much as people say don't define a person by the times they are angry, we are not defining, but let me tell you, when in an angry situation, it's very hard to hold you calm down, and that's where you'll be judged, whether you like it or not. So without further ado, let's please jump right into this video, and then I'll be back to give my take on it.
The way your partner treats you during a conflict is more important than all of the romantic moments you have ever shared with that person. And really think about that. Really think about that, okay? Because any man in the world can plan a dinner. Anybody can send you flowers. That part, that's easy. But how does that man act when he's mad at you? How does he act when his ego is bruised? Does he communicate like an adult? Or does he go full-on toddler mode with an iPhone, ignoring you to teach you a lesson? See, romance shows effort. But conflict, that shows character. And that's where most of us women get played, because we confuse charm for emotional safety. But the truth is, you cannot build a future with a man who punishes you every time he's uncomfortable. You build it with the one who still respects you, even when he's angry. So the next time you're fighting with him, don't just listen to what he says, watch how he says it, because that tells you everything you need to know about whether he loves you or just loves control.
Pay attention to how they treat you during an argument, because it tells you who they are at their core. And I learned this the hard way, because when things were easy, he was great. It was only when I pushed back, when I said no, that I saw who he actually was. And looking back, I think there were 3 very big red flags. Number 1, he never argued the issue. He would argue my character. If I said no to something small, I was selfish. I was dramatic. I was insensitive. I became the problem. Number 2, he would escalate things very, very quickly. What should have been a normal conversation at a normal tone turned into something very intense. It was like my boundary was an attack to him, and if you've ever been around a narcissist, you know that every no feels like a personal attack to their ego. And number 3, this was the one that exhausted me. There was no repair, ever, ever, ever. No, I see your point. No, okay, let's get past this. Let's work on what the future would look like. Nothing, no reset. He would just exhaust me until I backed down. And it really clicked for me when I realized that it's not about whether somebody argues, because every couple argues, every couple has a conflict. It's how they handle not getting their way. Anybody can be loving when you're agreeing with them, but their true character shows up when you don't. So if they don't respect you during arguments, if they're showing these 3 red flags, it might be a sign of a bigger, more dangerous pattern.
Always watch your man in an argument, because that's where you'll see it the most. That's where you see him expose himself of who he truly is. That's where you really want to listen, ladies, and say, what is he really saying to me? What does he really truly feel about me?
Always pay attention to your man in an argument. That's when the real him comes out. That's when the mask drops. Listen to his words. Watch his tone. See how he treats you when things get heated. Because in that moment, he's showing you his true thoughts about you. Not the version he shows when everything's good. The version he can't hide when he's mad. Don't just hear the words. Catch the meaning behind them. Ask yourself, what is he really telling me right now? How does he really feel about me? Because anger has a way of bringing the truth to the surface. And sometimes that truth is the answer you've been looking for.
How a man treats you when he's mad is how he really feels. Ladies, listen. A man's real character doesn't show when he's happy. It shows when he's heated. When a man loses his filter, the charm goes away and the sweet talk disappears. And what's left is who he truly is. If he disrespects you, belittles you, or says things that he just can't take back, that's not just emotion. That's his truth slipping out. Really pay attention to how he treats you in the heat of the moment. Does he protect your dignity or does he attack your weakness? Anger doesn't create new feelings. It exposes them. When a man is frustrated and he really loves you, he can control his tone. Even when he's going through hardship, he chooses respect over reaction. When he shows you his true colors the first time, believe him. A man who cares about you will calm himself before the situation. Real men know that when you cross certain lines and cross certain things, you just can't take it back. And a man who values you will protect you in the relationship, even when he's frustrated in that moment. So pay attention to a man's tone during conflict. It will tell you if you're with a partner or if you're with someone that sees you as emotional target practice. His anger might be temporary, but his character is permanent. Peace and love. Like and follow.
There's a very specific type of man who you should not trust. And that's the kind of man who, when he gets mad, he belittles you, he'll make fun of you, or he will mock you. He is intentionally trying to hurt you by using your insecurities against you. The way that someone treats you while they're angry says a whole lot more about how they feel toward you as opposed to when everything is fine. It's not the flowers on the good days. It's not about the amount of dates he's taking you out on. It's not about the amount of nail appointments he's booked for you, the hair appointments. None of that matters. What matters is how he acts toward you when things are not going well and when he's furious. It's what a man says when he's angry and triggered that is going to say everything about how he feels toward you, because either one, he's going to fight against you or he's going to fight with you to solve it. And don't even think about convincing yourself that people say things that they don't mean when they're hurt, because if you give this enough time, you'll eventually see a pattern start to emerge. They'll get louder and you will get quieter. That's not just somebody who's saying something that they don't mean. They see your soft spots and they see when you're vulnerable, and they choose to press down even harder on your soft spots to hurt you more. Let's be very clear about one thing. Mocking someone, belittling them, humiliating them, and making fun of them, all in the guise of "I was angry, so I didn't mean it," is a form of emotional abuse, because at one point, sooner or later, you will start to question your worth, you'll start to question your sanity, and even your voice, to the point where you shrink yourself in order to avoid conflicts and argument, even if it's at the expense of your own self-esteem. When someone loves you, they'll protect your wounds even in a storm. Well, good man is not going to use your past against you. He's not going to bring up your insecurities to rub them in your face. He's not going to use your soft spots as insults. So next time he says something disrespectful and cruel and tries blaming it on the stress, tries blaming it on the alcohol, tries blaming it on the fight, the argument, tries blaming it on his long day at work, do not hesitate to walk away, because what happened now is the mask finally slipped and now you're seeing him for who he is, and he's letting you know exactly how he feels about you.
Hey honey, this one's gonna hurt, but it's facts and the truth. So the way your partner, the guy you're seeing, your husband treats you, and the way he speaks to you, the words he uses to degrade you, to make you feel small, to keep you in that box, is the way that his dad used to treat his mum. And it's the only way. You don't just naturally become a dick. You learn it. And you can never unlearn that unless you do inner child work. So the way he's treating you is going to be a pattern forever. So I just wanted you to know that, because it's not you. He's not doing it to you. He's doing it for him. And that's the truth. It's not about you. Okay? Just know that. I love ya.
There is no way that I'm going to be with a man that makes me cry, that's purposely being mean to me and making me cry. I've seen quite a few women on my timeline today in literal tears from men that they are married to who are purposely being mean to them. A man can never be mean to me and I stay with him. I don't care how mean I am to him, or no, I'm not going to be with no man that's trying to out mean me or out mad me or go toe to toe with me. If a man is being mean to you, that is a telltale sign that he does not like you, and you need to get out of that situation as soon as possible, because there is no way that I am going to be in a home with a man who is doing that to me. Like, men will purposely do things to women for that woman to leave, and a lot of women just won't leave, and the man is trying to make them leave and they still won't leave.
Watch how a man responds to conflict, and that'll tell you everything you need to know about him as to whether he is emotionally mature or emotionally immature. Because fundamentally, there are two types of men: a man who's emotionally mature and a man who's emotionally immature. He will operate out of ego. So when you try to communicate an issue with him, you try to address an issue, bring something up, tell him that you got hurt in one way or another, he's going to react defensively. He might even react with hostility because he's doing it to protect his ego. He'll tell you things like, "Oh, I didn't mean to do that," right away. Or he'll tell you things like, "You're getting too sensitive, you're being overly emotional." He's telling you that because he's operating from a wounded ego. A man who's emotionally mature, he's going to hold space for you. He's not going to react defensively right away. He's going to hold space, he's going to pause, he's going to reflect, and he's going to think about the things that you told him. A sure sign that a man is becoming emotionally mature or is already emotionally mature is he's able to sit in the discomfort and in the stress without turning it into a heated argument. The biggest difference is a man who's emotionally mature has the ability to take in uncomfortable truths and not explode like the man who is operating from a wounded ego would generally do. Because when a man operates in his wounded ego, he'll listen to your pain or know that you got hurt, and he'll take it as a personal attack because he's too busy protecting himself, so he's not going to protect you. A man with a wounded ego will always make your pain about their suffering. How many times has that happened to you? You open up to someone and all of a sudden you find yourself apologizing because you opened up. An emotionally mature man who's in his healthy masculine is not going to weaponize your pain to avoid accountability. They're going to see it as a signal to connect with you, because for them, connecting with you is more important than controlling the narrative or being in service to their wounded ego.
How a person treats you when they get angry is who they really are and how they really feel about you. That's why it's not wise for you to fall in love in the first 6 months when you ain't never seen this person get angry, when you ain't never seen them when their ego is bruised, when you ain't never seen them when they under high stress, or when it's you that's working their nerves. Because when it's you and you become the issue, you gonna find out who they are and how they really feel about you based on how they respond to you. So they respectful all of the other times until they get angry with you and now you a bitch. You got to be aware of how people get angry and how they handle you in their anger, because that's the truth of how they feel. People say, "Oh, I say things I didn't really mean." No, when you are angry, you're speaking from the heart. You're pulling out all those things you've been paying attention to and you're weaponizing them. So you got to be sure that before you put your heart on the line, you know how a person gonna handle you when they angry with you, when they tired of you, when you getting on their nerves, when they under high stress, or when their ego is bruised, because that's who they really are and that's how they really feel about you.
How that man talk to you when he mad speaks volumes. Speaks volumes. No man that love you is gonna cuss you out and talk crazy to you and try to really down you in a real way, try to affect your confidence, try to say something to attack your vulnerability, something we know that's gonna really hurt you, because men know how, important words are, and we know the lasting effects that they can have. And at the end of the day, like, you still my woman, I still love you, and we gonna be together. So I don't want to say nothing when I'm mad that I ain't gonna be able to take back when we good. Now that man might need a walk to cool off, or he might need some time to himself, or he might just need, just a minute to get himself together once he get mad or whatever. But he's not going to intentionally pull out the sword and try to cut you with his words, talk crazy to you, talk like men that love you just don't move like that. It just is what it is. So if you're dealing with somebody who fly off the handle and get to talking to you like y'all ain't even in a relationship, that's the wrong relationship to be in, because that man don't give a damn about you. But a man that really love you, he not talking to you crazy like that. It don't matter how mad he get. That's just not how men that love you move.
If you've ever been shouted at by a man, you've probably asked yourself the question, is he always going to speak to me that way? Most men want to feel respected by their woman in all facets of life, and yet they're the first ones to shout and shut down a conversation if they feel disrespected. This behaviour, however, is not allowed to be reciprocated. And if it is, they'll be given the silent treatment because they stepped out of line. How a man treats his woman when he's angry says significantly more about him than when he's not. A man takes no regard on how he makes his woman feel when he does this, he just expects her to accept it. He's unable to provide an emotionally safe space for her to express herself, and yet demands the utmost amount of respect and authority from her. And in doing so, he takes no regard for how she feels. Now, whilst on a once-off, this may seem a little bit extreme, but what the man doesn't realise is he's planted a seed that this could happen again in his wife's mind, and she doesn't know if and when it's going to occur. It won't really make any difference the amount of times he tells her he loves her, because in the back of her mind she's going, yeah, but are you going to shout at me again? The emotional safety has been ruined. And it's because of this that his wife's behaviour begins to change, and she may seem a little bit more distant, a little bit more chaotic, or just not attentive. As her behaviour begins to change, the man will criticise and blame and say that it's her fault the relationship is on the rocks. Solution to overcoming a scenario like this? Understand that if you truly love this woman that you're in a relationship with, shouting at her and getting aggressive when things don't go your way is not the answer.
Still being respectful mid-argument is probably the most attractive thing a man can do. Because any guy can be sweet when you're holding hands under fairy lights. But it takes a different breed of a man to be in the middle of a heated debate about why he liked someone's picture and still say, hold on, let me get you a blanket before your feet get cold, and then we can keep arguing about this. Because, yeah, you're both one sentence away from breaking up. But one way to certainly stop that from happening is by making sure you don't unnecessarily raise your voice. Right? The reality is, disrespect is cheap. Anyone can get loud, slam doors, bring up things from 2018. But staying calm while you're getting roasted, that's Olympic level self-control, and women just like that. I don't know what to tell you. And don't get it twisted. Being respectful doesn't mean being a doormat. It means you know how to argue without turning it into a demolition derby. Because I promise you, if you can fight fair, she'll fight for you. Even if she's still mad that you like that picture. You really should stop with the liking of the pictures.
So ladies, let me tell you, we've all been in arguments before. And after the argument, let me tell you, some arguments will change how you view that man. Some arguments and most arguments will change how you feel about that man. Some arguments will leave you like, oh my God, he's such a bitch. Oh my God. And some will leave you like, oh my God, like I need to watch myself. I need to tone it down. I need to stop having issues as a woman because this man is so nice. This man really loves me. This man. Yeah, let me tell you, if you're not in a relationship that when you argue, you feel calm or you find a solution after, I think it's time to leave. Let me tell you, not all arguments should result or should end in disagreement, in silent treatment, in someone walking out of the room and disappearing for days. Like, that is immature behavior. As adults, you should find a solution. You should not be like toddlers or 5-year-olds. Let me tell you the truth. So, hey, I believe we've been in those situations before. But my advice is, if you're in a relationship whereby this man, whenever arguments are also healthy. Bringing personal issues in an argument is not healthy. Like throwing someone's weaknesses to their face to win an argument, that is the unhealthy part. But people disagree. Adults disagree. Like people disagree, and you have to disagree to agree in a relationship. Otherwise, you're cooked. Let me tell you, the hard times in your relationship are the ones that will define you, are the ones that will keep you going in that relationship. If that argument does not end in a solution, you're cooked. That one will not survive. I'm telling you this for free. Anyway, I hope you really enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something from this video. I've learned a lot too. And I hope this video is finding you well. Please like this video, comment down below on your experience, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye.